All right, welcome to the Real Estate Life Podcast. This is your host, Abiel Ballesteros. Today, I want to introduce a very special guest. It's Jalal Abuimweis, better known as the King of Miami Real Estate. I'll let him correct me on that. I know I pronounced his last name incorrectly. But Jalal is doing something incredible. He has 51 doors under management, over 9 million of apartments, and only at the age of 28. Now, guys, he's done this in the last 3 years. He's bought these acquisitions. This is a big deal at his age. I can even imagine when I was 20 years old, I definitely did not have that state of mind. He is a full-time real estate investor, and he's also an active wholesaler. Jalal, welcome to the show.
Hey, Abiel, thank you for having me. Appreciate you bringing me on the show. Again, I do listen to your podcast, listen to those episodes, and I learned a lot from it. Matter of fact, I learned that we work with the same lender, David Lument. We work with the same guy. He refinanced me. So I just remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. David's good people, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're working with him.
Yeah, man. Great guy.
Jalal, you have an incredible story, and it's a true immigrant American story. And I want listeners to know that your story, how you came to this country, how you got started. Take it away. Let them know how you did it, man.
Awesome, man. So I decided to move to America on August 2010. And again, I'm from Amman, Jordan. That's where I was born. If you don't know where's Amman, Jordan, that is like right across from Israel. So I'm on the other side of the planet, right? August 2010, decided to move to America. Ended up in Atlanta, Georgia. The second I decided to move to America, I was in Ohio for 3 months. That didn't work out with a friend. Ended up actually moving to Atlanta, Georgia, because I had an uncle there, and then did that, right? Then I was with my uncle for about maybe 3 to 4 weeks, not more. Then pretty much he couldn't, house me anymore. And just to kind of give you not the longest story of that, he couldn't house me anymore. I had to leave his house. And then at that time, I actually got to meet someone, by the way, after I slept in the streets for about 3 weeks, I got to meet someone that is actually also that was in the car business. And I saw him basically coming out of a green auto zone, basically ran to the guy, introduced myself. And then the guy decided to tell me, like, okay, great, you can sleep at my dealership. And basically a couple $100 a week. You'll get food every day because his wife used to cook for him. She'll add more food for me, right? So
hold on. You said you let me cut you off there. Sorry, you slept in the streets for 3 weeks. That you slept in where in the streets? Like that's hard to.
It was exactly It was exactly on a bench in the front of a lake. If anybody knows Georgia, you take exit 277 on 75 North. I think that's what it was, 277. Then you make a left. You keep going. There's a lake. Yes.
Dude, and I hope, was this during winter? Because it could get cold in Georgia, man.
It did get cold. It was very cold, actually. It was very cold. It was almost October. It was cold, but it was fine.
At what age did you figure like at the age of 18? Why did you leave your country in such a hurry? Let's go back to that.
Man, I mean, we were not like homeless poor, but we were just, we had a roof, over our head. We had food, but basically, if you had a shirt and it's not ripped, you're not getting a new one, basically.
That's crazy.
So we had food, we had water, we had a roof, but we just lived very fucking poor, man. And I don't like it. What on this thing there?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Why America?
This is going to be a very funny story because when I was younger, I was watching this TV show. It's called 90210. And I always thought when I get older, I'm going to go to America, and America looks like the show. And the show is like a bunch of kids with like Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and then and with like women. So I thought when I come to America, I'm going to be this guy. I thought I'm going to come to America, and I'm going to be that guy dating Naomi, driving my Ferrari. Listen, here's what's funny. That was my.
90210 was like a chick show, but I loved it, man. I loved it.
Listen, I watched it, but when I was younger, I didn't give a shit if it was chick show or not. It was just a view of what America looks like to me, right? Listen to this. So that's what I thought America was. I landed in fucking Cleveland, Ohio. Ended up homeless like 3 months later. I was like, I landed. I was like, dude, this is
not what
not
I signed
America.
up for.
This is not America, dude. Like, I thought I landed like in Zimbabwe or some shit. Like,
a cold Zimbabwe. Very
yeah. It was retarded in Ohio. It was terrible.
I wanted to know that because sometimes like people pick the United States and I just wanted to know why you pick it because there's a lot of great places you could have had opportunities. But now I get it.
But truth is, or like facts is, nothing's better than America. Where else on planet Earth you can do what we can do in America?
No.
Like our laws and the opportunity we have here for someone like me to go from nothing to something only exists in America at the level that we're in right now.
I always thank my parents for that. My parents were Cuban. They came in 1980, and their stories is pretty crazy. That they're my whole family's Jehovah's Witness. So Fidel Castro in 1980, what he started doing, he started putting out anyone that didn't salute the flag. And if I don't know whoever knows what Jehovah's Witnesses are, they don't salute the flags. That's just their thing. The only person they salute is God. So my parents, my parents were known in the community for being religious and Jehovah's Witnesses. So basically, in 1980, they knocked in our family's door, told my parents, you need to pack up and get all your stuff and leave. You have a couple minutes to do this. So they're in a hurry. I'm 1 year old. They grab my whole family and they tell them you got to go to the beach. That's where they're picking people up in boats. So they're grabbing just their belongings and clothes. They hadn't had time to pick up nothing else but that. My dad had a family member that lived in the United States, wrote their phone number inside his belt so he wouldn't forget the number and just in case he lost something. My parents went to the beach for 7 days with me as a 1 year old, waiting for a boat to pick them up. And out of nowhere, this fishing boat comes in, sent from God or wherever you want to call it from, comes into the shore, starts calling everybody to come in. People start racing to the boat, swimming to the boat to get on, piling up. And that's how we made it here. My dad says I vomited the whole 2-hour drive over here. We slept in the Orange Bowl Stadium, which is now the Marlins Stadium, for over a month. So your story touches very close to me, even though I was 1 year old. I have no flashbacks of that. But your immigration story in this country, I agree with you. It's amazing because opportunities, because the shit we're doing, bro. It's amazing. What you're doing is also amazing. So I'm glad you shared that because I want people to see that there's no excuse, man. You can make it here and you can make it happen. And we're in a beautiful business, which is real estate. So now that we got that, you went from sleeping in the street, car sales, and then what is it that pulled you into real estate? That's what I want to get into now.
So let me say this.
Say, you know what? I like that business. I'm not going to stay in cars because you could have been a car salesman. You could have owned your own dealers. Your attitude, I could see you owning a bunch of dealers, but no.
But little, the guy who owned the dealership also owned a ton of properties too. He actually owned the land the dealership was on too. So he was a real estate guy before he was anything else. But nobody knew him for it. Everybody knew him for the cars, but he took the money made in cars and bought real estate. That guy is a genius. But let me tell you something. So I always knew real estate was good there through working for this guy because I worked for him from 2010 to 2015. But what really got me into it, because throughout the being in the car business, I've learned about Grant Cardone. And then I said, okay, great. Like this guy taught me how to sell. That's awesome. I want to work for the guy. 2014, he had a business seminar in Mexico, Cancun. And I immediately get a ticket and go watch Grant Cardone in Mexico, Cancun. I walked into the Hard Rock, Cancun, 2014. I remember it so clear, man. Grant was outside actually smoking a cigarette, right? He doesn't smoke anymore. He was smoking a cigarette outside. I literally ran into him. I was like, Grant Cardone, man, you changed my life. You did like that. You don't do that to this guy. I'm like, oh my God, I did all these things, right? You taught me all these things. Like, man, hold on, relax. That story you just did outside, could you do it again in front of the camera? I said, fuck yeah, let's go. And then he puts me on the show he was shooting. And listen to me, he puts me on the show he was shooting. And I was like his guest on the show. And then, that was my first time in front of a camera on the show. I was like, yo.
You got that recording?
Oh, of course I do. 100%.
You got to share that with me. You got to share that with me.
I sounded like shit. I was I think I was like 20, almost 21 or 21. I was 21. I was 21. Exactly. I was 21 because I turned 22 in Miami, but I was 21 there. I remember it clear. Listen to this. Then I went there not to listen to him, only I wanted to, but in my head I was like, dude, I'm gonna pitch this guy to hire me, right? And then we spent the 3 days in Mexico, and anyways, while I'm there, I actually convinced them to hire me. So I fly back to Atlanta. They go back to Miami because that's where they're based out of. And as soon as I go back to Atlanta, I immediately go tell the guy like, yeah, the event was awesome, but I didn't say much. Yeah, the event was awesome, but I didn't say much. I get a phone call interview and by the COO for Grant Cardone, and basically she tells me like, dude, this job that you just convinced them to hire you for is actually entirely on the phone because it's cold calling and your English is garbage and we can't hire you. So when you get an email in, like you get a text or email in and you just like swipe it right, you don't even look at it, right? I swiped it right, didn't look at it, opened my email, swipe right, you swipe left, then I deleted it. I didn't even read it. But the email basically at the beginning of it, like, sorry, we can't hire you. I walk into the dealership and I tell the guys, like, man, I'm going to, take, like, let's say a 30 days notice. I'm going to go work for Grant Cardone. Just got off a phone call with them. They love me. They can't work without me. They need me there. I love you, but we need to do this. So I set him up right. I had a couple cars with him too, sold everything I had. Which is, a couple beat up cars that we got in the auction for $800, like nothing crazy. Anyways, finalized that. And then I put together with me, I think it was about around 9,000. I think it was like $9,000 because I bought a 2007 Honda Fit that was beat the fuck up. I bought it for 4,000 and I had 3,800 or 3,700. So no, that's not 9. That's like what? That's like 7, right? Around 7. That's what I had on me. So I bought the car because Hondas don't break down, and I drive down to Miami. I drove down and I was doing valet at night. So I used to sell cars in daytime, valet cars at night. So I finished my last shift at the dealer. I go do another shift, valet in cars, and then I finish that shift. I tell my boss, by the way, at the valet lot, by the way, now he works in my office, which is crazy. We ended up being friends. I tell the guy, dude, I'm driving to Miami right after the shift. So I worked like not normal hours.
Dude, I did valet too. I love that business.
I love it too.
Every day. Every day, cash in your pocket.
No, I did it at a club. So, we're hustling these fucking, dude, these bartenders were like cashing us out.
They were coming out drunk just like.
I know. So we did it at like Atlanta nightclubs, and they're crazy. And that's where the nightclub was called Compound. I did it at Compound, and another one called Privé in Midtown or downtown Atlanta. So listen to this. I drive down, and then I get to Miami. I've never seen Miami before. I've never been to Miami. All I did when I knew Grant Cardone is based out of Miami, I literally Googled Miami, and I didn't even read. I just went to images on Google to see what Miami looks like. I was like, oh my God, there's a beach. I remember 90210. I was like, this is it. It's happening. I was like, I'm going to Miami, Listen, I drive my ass down to Miami. And I remember first thing I did, obviously, I got here like the night before I wanted to, go and present myself to Grant. I go there at night, and I put the address of his office because that's the only thing I know in Miami. I didn't even have a place. I didn't even think of where to sleep. I just knew I'm coming down. And then, I go there, drive there at night just to know where's the office so I can come back the next day. And then literally I go park in front of LA Fitness on Biscayne 123rd. Now I know because I'm in the business.
Yeah, you're right.
Biscayne 123rd, there's LA Fitness. And I had an LA Fitness membership from Georgia. And anyways, I finished there. I had a suit on me that I bought from Express. It was like a $200 suit. And then I go to LA Fitness, took a good shower, got myself ready.
You were fresh. You were ready.
Yeah. I was in the front of Grant Cardone's office, literally like I'd say 7:30. Listen to this. About 8 o'clock, the COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer for Grant Cardone, she was walking in. She's like, are you Jalal? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I think we said we're not going to hire you. What are you doing here? I was like, man, let me just tell you this. You drove 5 miles for your no. I drove 1,000 miles for my yes. The least you can do is just give me a shot in person. That's all I'm asking for. She's like, I don't know what to do with you. Wait outside. Not outside the office. No, outside the building. And I'll call you in. I said, okay, great. I was like, I'll wait. And I was like being torched in Miami Heat outside in a black suit. I hated my life. Maybe like 25, 30 minutes later, Grant Cardone's walking in. I was like, hey, Mr. Cardone, how are you? We met in Mexico. Do you remember me? These, whatever. It was like, yeah, man, what are you doing here? I thought you got a job here. I'm like, yeah, but they told me I'm not a fit. Please, I'm here. I finalized everything in Atlanta. I have nothing to go back to. I'm committed to make this work. He's like, just walk in with me. And I was like, oh, Sherry, she's like, I was like, oh, dude, she told me to wait outside. He said, walk in with me, man. I was like, fuck. I was like shitting bricks. Anyways, I walk into the house with Grant Cardone. We walk in. He's like, dude, just wait on the couch. Like, at least I was waiting in the AC. Waited on the couch, literally, man. 6 hours sitting on that couch to wait to actually get seated with him and everyone that needs to make a decision on me. I waited 6 hours. I go into the office. I did my thing. I had a pitch ready. My name is Jalal. I moved there. I moved from Atlanta. I have nothing to go back to. I finalized everything to do here. I guarantee no one in your office did this, but I did it. Give me an opportunity. Like, I had it prepared, right? I did this thing. And then basically, they still like the VP and the CEO were like, dude, the guy's English sucks. And they said it to my face in front of G. And then he was like, yeah, man, but let me tell you this. If they blow up this building, this is the only motherfucker walking out. Literally, like, he's the only one who will be carrying people walking out. This guy is crazy. He's a risk taker. Give the man a fucking desk. Literally, like that, verbatim, with the F4 and all of it. I don't even know if I should be cussing on this thing, man, but I'm just being myself.
It don't matter, man. It don't matter.
So listen, it was like
an incredible story, man.
So listen to this. I get a job at Grant's office. Now I'm going to tell you how I got into real estate. This is why I got into real estate, really why. So I get a job at Grant's office. 3 months later, I get fired. I'm not going to talk about the reasons. I get fired. It was crazy. It had nothing to do with production. Anyways, I get fired 3 months later. And then, like, literally, I'm like bawling out, crying like a little girl, right? I'm in my car, like, literally. They walk me, like, some security guy walks me to my car. I got fired. And I'm in my car, like, crying. I'm like, I don't know where to go. At that point, I had an apartment that I rented in an apartment complex. Used to be called Altamira. Also, it's on, where's that Mesquite 123rd Whole Foods behind it? Big apartment complex, Altamira. I rented a room from a lady that lived there. She had an apartment. She rented me a room for $700, right? And at that point, that's where I used to live. By the way, I promised myself one day I'm going to own that fucking apartment complex. It's 348 doors. It got traded in 2017 for $56 million. And
I'll jump with you on that one.
I can't wait. Next time that trades, I do. We're going to do this deal. That's our first deal. So let me tell you. So I got fired as I'm driving home. I just got fired by Grant Cardone, and I'm listening to his podcast in my car. And I'm driving down Collins because I took the long way home.
That's so weird, bro. That's such a weird feeling.
It sucked ass. So, but he never fired me personally. I got fired by the people, that run the office.
Yeah, I get it. And listen,
he didn't even know I was fired. So
look, the word fired, Jalal. If you would talk to my mother has a list of any jobs I've been fired from the age of 14 to the age of 21. God. I've been fired from a lot of jobs. It happens, and when I tell, it's not because it's just I wasn't working for myself. The entrepreneurship is in our DNA. So I would get fired because I would perform really well in the beginning, but I would lose that passion for it. I just wanted my own thing. So I get that, man. I've been fired.
So
I got stories.
Being fired is one thing, and being fired by Grant Cardone's office, when I changed my entire life to go work there, is crushed me.
I get it. Yeah.
That crushed. That was my dream come true job. But here's the thing. I didn't even have a plan B. Like, I didn't even think I'm going to go do real estate if this doesn't work out. I didn't do none of this. Anyways, as I'm driving home, listening to this podcast.
21, bro. There's no plan Bs when you're 21.
Yeah, but I never thought that way. When you come as an immigrant, you migrated from a country to another. Yeah. I'm just thinking I need to be a billionaire by 30. That was the goal, right? Now I'm 28. Now I know how much harder it is to be a billionaire.
How hard that shit is.
Yeah, I know. So I listened to his podcast, and he was saying I swear to God, you'd think like God picked the right podcast. I didn't even pick the podcast. It was on play. I just turned the car, starts playing, you know? And he was saying, man, there's no shortage of success. Look at the real estate around you. And I was driving down Collins, like near Golden Beach. Obviously, you're looking at billions of dollars. There's no shortage of success. Just in the zone you're in, look out of your window. Look how much real estate is there. You're looking at billions of dollars. Imagine how much more money there is on earth. There's no shortage of success. In my mind, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do real estate shit. Literally, I just got fired. I decided I'm going to do real estate. I got depressed for 2 days. I was literally in my bed crying for 2 days, like miserable, like shit, 2 days.
Yeah, you have to go through the process.
Yeah, it took me 2 days. No, I counted it, 2 days. Then I called Gold Coast. I was like, yo, I got to take my class. Listen to this. I'm going to make this story quick. I know my story could go longer. I have so many things that happened throughout the way.
No, keep going.
I'm trying to make it quick. So I called Gold Coast for these people trying to get in. I was like, hey, I want to take my real estate course. She was like, yeah, because I wanted to take the one that you do in 1 week. Because I don't want to do this 1 month thing. The one you take in 1 week.
Oh, that was brutal. That's a brutal class.
Yeah, and I'll tell you how brutal it was. Listen to this. She was like, the classes started Monday, and today was like a Wednesday. She was like, they're already half done with the class. You have to wait till next month or 2 months after, because they do it once a month or once every 2 months. I forgot. I was like, no, man, I can't wait. I have to do this. And back then, like, because I was taking an advance from also like when I used to work at Grant. By the time I got fired, I had a little over $2,000 with me. That's exactly what I had. I had a little over $2,000. I called the lady. I was like, I got to take the fucking thing. Like, I have to come in. She's like, no, it started. I was like, no, you don't understand. I have to do this. You don't understand. She's like, no, sir, come back next month. I was like, okay, great. I'll see you there. She said, don't come. I drive down there. I called, I walk in. The lady was there. I was like, hey, ma'am, I just called in for the class. She's like, yes, you're so annoying. I told you to come back next month. I was like, no, you don't understand. Then here's the thing. Everybody sucks at one thing. Everybody's good at one thing, right? I'm good at like, if I'm trying to get someone to do something, I'm good at grabbing their heartstrings. Easy for me, right? I got the story. I know how to tell it. It's like, ma'am, you don't understand. I just, lost this. I moved here. You have no idea. I'm just trying to make my life better for my family. And she was like, okay, great. I convinced her. I got in the class. It's Wednesday. The class ends on Saturday, it was? Yes, Saturday.
Oh, you jump. Oh.
Yes, I'm midway in. Listen to this. Dude, I get in the class. And I sit next to this guy. His name is Mike, and he's a general contractor. I remember him like from back then. So I sit down. The class was done 2-3 days. The class you do, the test you do in the class, that's bullshit. Everybody's fucking cheating. Everybody copying the same answers. I got like 99. I got like 99.
I hope coach doesn't listen to this.
I revoked my license, even if they do. I'm done. I'm not that guy. I'm not a realtor. Listen, everybody sees that test. If they hear me, they need to correct the shit. That's why there's so many realtors. Listen, you told me to tell your story. I'm being me. So listen, if you want to cancel me,
I got no comments on that one.
Okay, listen to this. Oh, but this is what tells you. Then I go to take the state exam. I failed 7 times, and I failed and I passed on the 8th. So here's what I did.
Shit, I failed 4 times.
I failed
you beat my
7
record.
times. I know.
I was ashamed to tell people I failed 4 times. I used to tell people I would only tell my close friends, I failed 4 times. Because you're running a business. It's hard. Cause
you know what's funny?
Studying is just like an athlete. Like you've got to train to condition. Studying is the same thing. So if you're running a business and you're not an entrepreneur, you're doing your life, and now you're packed in a 7-day cram course, dude, that's like running a marathon and you never ran one.
It is.
You're not conditioned for it.
Yeah.
It's
I got
tough.
a trick for you.
I get that.
I got a trick for everybody to pass.
Well, I hired a tutor. I hired a tutor.
Oh no, that's the rich people solution. No, let me give you the poor. Let me give you the poor guy solution. Hold on. So every test you can pay. I think it was like $20 or $30 at the time, and you take a review, right? You take a review, right, of the test. That means you go into the same classroom and they give you your test and they repeat the questions you got wrong, which is all of them for me. Yeah. And they tell you which one. Dude, and then and then they tell you which answers you got wrong and what was the right answer to all these questions. Yeah. So I took a test review for all 7 of them because in my head was, at some point, it's going to have to repeat. There's only so many questions they could pack. So I took the review for each one. So technically, I took that test 14 times because I had to go over each one. And then on 8th, I swear to God, man, I walked into that test. You know that test is long. You're there for
memorized
hours.
every single question. You had them all memorized.
Brother, I was out in less than 20 minutes. That lady thought I cheated. I was like, okay, that's me here. Literally, listen.
Yeah, because the same one popped up.
Some of them, I didn't even read the questions. I just knew the answer. Like the answer, like it's the same, way. I literally check those boxes.
Pictures. You were looking at pictures. You weren't reading questions. You were just looking at the picture.
Man. Yes.
The same one.
But it worked, and like you would think I passed out 100. No, I got like 2 or 3 points above what I needed to pass.
Honestly, I remember when I took the guy who actually tutored me. I got it from Gold Coast. He's the one that designs the test for the state of Florida, and he taught me a very simple technique. Which after he taught me a technique, I passed. He goes, "This tests are not meant for people. These are laws that you're never going to probably use ever in your career, but they just don't want to dummy with this license. You need to be able to. They need to see you have some common sense and you can answer these questions." So he goes, "Once you learn the process of elimination, just eliminate. There's going to be two answers that are completely off the wrap. They have nothing to do with the question, and then there's 2 that are going to leave you guessing. Eliminate those 2, and then now you're down to 2. Your odds are going to skyrocket above 50." Once he taught me a technique, I passed. I was like, "That's," and it was true. So
dude,
I get it, man. I get that Gold Coast. That Gold Coast.
Most of these realtors are dummies. Well, they did the whole thing wrong then. Most of them are dummies, man. Don't let me.
That's true. That's funny. Yeah. And a lot of people don't like to admit that they failed that exam. And then whenever I hear people, "I passed it on the first time," I'm like, bro.
I brag about it. I passed on 8 times. Like, here's the funny thing. Most of the people pass on the first and second. They end up not even doing it. They end up not doing real estate forever. They end up doing it like as a side hustle while they do hair on the week.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Very true.
So
go ahead.
No, I was going to carry on with the story because I need to finish this because I'm ready for your questions.
Close the story.
So anyways, I leave there and then now I'm a realtor and then I'm like, well, shit, like, okay, so now what? I swear to God, listen to this. I need a piece of paper. Assume this is the piece of paper that I used to, like, oh, you passed. I'm walking to my car. I'm like, okay, I passed. Now what? I swear to God, I do this. I put the thing like here. I go on my Instagram. I'm like, okay, change my Instagram name to the King of Miami Real Estate. Like, like I haven't done a rental.
Is that when it hit you? The name, the King of Real Estate?
Yes.
Did you plan it or just punched you in the head like
no? A background. My phone background is a meme for Muhammad Ali that says, I called myself the greatest before I laid my first punch. And then I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, I'm the King of Miami Real Estate, before I do my first deal.
You know what? That was going to be my next question because I remember when you hit the scene with the King of Real Estate. So it started popping up and you created a buzz. Like, who the fuck is this guy, the King of Real Estate? And then you started like, I didn't even close the deal. What the fuck? This guy's got some balls to come out and say this shit. Who is this guy?
Not even a rental, nothing. Like,
I thought it was I thought it was a strategic. This is me. I'm like, this is a fucking genius. This is a strategic marketing campaign that he's doing. It's working. He's getting his foot in the game by doing it. I thought it was a whole strategy of yours.
No, you're talking about a schmuck.
All right, so that answered my next question because that was it. I always wanted to know that one. When the hell did you decide you're gonna call yourself the King of Real Estate of Miami?
On my way,
bro. Because there's a lot of big boys in this industry who will be like, "What the fuck? I'm the King of Miami Real Estate."
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, but
a lot of them are thinking that.
Yeah, a lot of them said it to my face too. Trust me.
Oh, they have? They have, really?
But I got people thinking of me. That's what's most important to me, 100%. I don't care about somebody who hates me, likes me. I just care about your thinking of me. That's who wins the game. Yeah. So I named myself the King of Miami Real Estate. I'm like, okay, now what? And then, I spend days, I don't know what to do with my license. I found George Canchabello, Lifestyle International Realty. Yeah. And I found him on Instagram because he posted a book he was reading. It's for Grant Cardone. I was like, okay, so he's on the same material, so we think the same. I'll go work for the guy. Anyways, go work for the guy. Obviously, we're realtors. And by the way, honestly, I think this is the most interesting part. Okay, so Okay, so what happens is I end up working for George, and as a realtor, obviously we don't make money, right? We don't make salary, and
Yeah,
then
you
I
definitely
couldn't.
chose a business where you're not going to see a paycheck for a while, man. That's what
I know.
it takes time.
Yeah, but I
It
didn't
takes
think
time.
of that. I'm just thinking I'm going to be a
Yeah,
billionaire in real estate right now. I'm a billionaire. Don't ruin my deal, man.
yeah,
Like
no, no, don't fuck with you.
let
I
me
get it.
go. So listen. So I go work for George. Literally, man, like about a month passes. That it was $625 that I used to pay the lady that rented her room, not $700. I couldn't even pay her that anymore. And then I give her my 30 days notice, and then basically I just packed my stuff in the car and I called George. I was like, dude, I'll clean the office, I'll do this and that, and at night I'm just gonna sleep there, please. And he allowed me to sleep in his office, and he was at my event. You've seen the whole thing,
I
right?
remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
That's the first time I heard that story, and
yeah.
that's pretty cool. George just
So
did that for you. A lot of
yeah,
people won't do that.
so he let me sleep
Give you
in
that
his
opportunity.
office. Yeah, he let me, because they saw the potential. They know I'm a worker. Like, I'm not gonna come there to play around. Like, I was
Yeah.
busting my balls, and I used to wait till Friday before the cleaning lady comes to the office, because George, like, he makes money. He would have all these meal plans from these companies, and he doesn't even eat them, and he ends up going out every single day and eating outside. And the meal plans like go bad. So what I used to do is I would take those meal plans, every Friday, and then before the lady comes and throw them out, and I wait till she cleans, and I put
You're
them back.
stacked up for the weekend.
Yeah, and I take them and eat them like for the week coming up, because I don't even have money to go buy food.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was eating people's leftovers, literally. That's what I had. And I didn't care, man. Like, not once I felt bad for myself, felt victim. Dude, I was every single fucking day. Now, here's where my story gets interesting. Every single day, I get out of my Honda. There's no AC. Some days I couldn't sleep in the office because the security guy wouldn't let me. And then that's when it started becoming an issue. And I sleep in my car. I get out of my Honda, sweating my balls off. Let me say this. If I could have
That's hot.
snuck into I Live Fitness in Brickell, then I could have. And to take a shower and go to work. If not, I'd get out of my car, put my shirt on. Dude, I swear to God, I just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm a billionaire. Like, soon I'm going to have all these things. None of this meant shit for me. And you're talking about 3 weeks in Georgia? I did that for 8 months. And George will attest to it. And I'm happy he's so known in the industry, because I can't make this shit up. 8 months I slept out of my car and in his office. And literally, like, every day, I just felt like it never felt like this is going to be forever. It always felt this is going to be a great part of my story when I'm on stage. Even when I was up, like, living like a
That was
bum.
your affirmation.
I swear,
That was
man.
your affirmation.
I put my shirt on. I'd get to the office. I'd go there to the bathroom. I was like, fucking wash myself real quick, wash my armpits,
And this is why, like, there's other realtors in the office seeing you go through this, because people talk.
Oh yeah,
people
100%.
talk shit.
Oh, 3 or 4 of them were at the event. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them were there. They know the whole story. And
that. And not, at any point did you say, I'm going to go get me a job? I need to get a 9 to 5.
George told me, dude, go work as a valet. It was at the Latitude building where their office was. He's like, go get a valet job. And I said, no, dude, I'm not going to do it, because I need to be on the phone calling, even if it means I'm going to have to eat nothing. Even though I'm going to have to die, that's what I'm going to do. Because I was, get to the office way before 8 in the morning. I get ready. I'm on the phone calling out of my cell phone, calling realtors to basically tell them, give me deals that I can bring to the office that they can go, wholesale, basically.
Yeah, I want to touch on that, because that people that want to get into our industry, any aspect of real estate, it doesn't have to be specific a realtor,
Sure.
any type of any field in real estate. This is not a part-time business. If you try to do this part-time, you go get yourself a valet job, a waiter job. I'm sorry, dude, you're not going to make it, because you're going to get run over by the competition. It's very competitive. So part-time in real estate, you might do a deal here and there through your friends and family network, but you're not going to grow. You're going to stay there just on your friends and family. It's a brutal business. This is not a part-time hustle. There's real competition. And I would just say in South Florida, all over the United States. So I get asked that question all a lot, because I'm a broker. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this part-time. Oh, I'm going to have my job. And then on the weekends, I see them try, and I see that they don't make it. They either take the leap of faith, which you committed to. You knew that. You knew if you started valeting, it was a wrap, bro. It was going to be a wrap for you. You were going to lose deals. You're not going to be able to show properties on the weekend. If an investor tells you, I want to go see that deal, you got to jump and show it. You can't do that shit part-time. You're going to have your job. Your boss is going to say you can't go. So I get that, why you said, no, I can't do that.
I can't do that. I just knew I'm not going to do it. And then I just stayed on the phone. And then what I liked about what I was doing is basically I was an acquisition agent. I don't have to show properties. I don't have the means to show properties. Most likely I smell like shit. My car is beat up. I can't even show up to showings. I can't do that. I don't have air conditioning. I don't have money for gas. So I'm just acquiring deals on the phone. So that's why it made sense. So I got my license, but I never acted like a...
You know, Miami's very superficial, man. You show up with a beat up car, without the Rolex, with, you know, like, you show up like that, people are judging you. Like, dude, this guy, shit, this guy's trying to sell me his property. He's got this car, this watch, that belt, that shoes. It's crazy. It sucks. Cause that's one of the things. Because I'm like, why do we have to? But that's,
you hate that stuff. I know.
I do hate it, man. I can't even wear jewelry. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, shit, man. I gotta fit the cliche of real estate sales in Miami. I think that it's a funny meme that every realtor in Miami has the Ferragamo belt and the Ferragamo shoes.
Yeah,
it's just like the realtor set.
And it's the cheapest Rolex they can buy. I swear to God. Like it's the same thing, but it's fucking it's miserable, man. It's crazy.
So I want to jump to a topic, because you know that when I talk to you, I created this podcast because it's a podcast to motivate, but it's also a podcast about multifamilies.
Of course.
I met you in the business as a wholesaling properties to me, and I remember when I first talked to you, you closed me on a deal, and then from that our relationship grew, and then we would talk on and off about a multifamilies, and you saw me make a big transition in my career in the last 2 years, where I took the leap of going 100%.
Very inspirational.
Multifamilies, which thanks, man, I appreciate that. And it was a hard commitment. And we've had this conversation about making commitments and sacrifice. But at the age of 28, you got 51 doors.
Yeah,
I know for you that's not enough, because I already know that's your personality. You're like, where's the next one? I get it. I'm the same. But it's a pretty good accomplishment for those that are in their 20s, for 40s, 30s, 50s. I was just at an event this weekend in Dallas, Texas, that I spoke in. Mind you, thank you, because I did that event because you broke my ice on coming on an event. I was shitting bricks in your event. The second one, I was chilling, bro, not even nervous. So thank you for that motivation you gave me.
But I can do.
Yeah, there were so many people at this event that only done 12 duplexes, 4plexes, and like very small, man. You took a leap. Your first deal was a 13-unit apartment building.
Yeah.
Now, recently, you just made the local business deals. You just closed 38 units.
Yes.
And tell me about that 38 unit. Why did you choose that deal to be the one you're going to buy? And what's the story on it? How did you find the deal, first of all? Because that's one of the hardest things, to find great deals. And I saw the numbers. That is a great deal.
So I owned the 13 units. That was my first deal. After that, I bought a 4plex that I bought and sold. And then because it's not worth it, it's not good money, I don't want to do it. Then I did the 38 units. The 38 units, I was on Property Appraiser, Miami-Dade, doing comps on another deal. Like some random single family I'm doing comps on. And then every time on Miami-Dade, I make the effort. If I see a big square, which is a big multifamily, right, in yellow, then I just click on it just to see who owns it, out of curiosity, right? I clicked on this deal, and the guy, what attracted my attention, you know, most of the sophisticated investors like you have their addresses on the properties, maybe to your office, right? That's the least, or a P.O. box. This guy had the property and the address to his house. And he owns this big house in Weston, like $4 or $5 million house. I'm like, dude, this guy got to be either so rich that he doesn't give a shit, or he's an idiot. And one of them, and he has the 38 units. I was like, dude, I look at one of my acquisition guys. I was like, yo, call that guy, set me up an appointment.
Hold on, but let's rewind that. That's where you at in your level, your business, that you didn't even make the call yourself. You had one of your guys' cars. You're that rich, huh? I'm sorry, I gotta get you back. If you say I'm getting a tutor, I got a tutor, I'm too rich.
Oh my God.
Hey, go call that guy real quick for me. Let me know what's going on.
Let me say something. You're so funny. Let me say something. I could have made the call, but I wanted him to do it so he can make money. Honestly,
Old
I think
Jalal
of
would
my
have made the
guys.
calls. Right now, you got people calling for you.
Yes.
Which, by the
So
way,
listen,
he has a call center, guys. That's why that's his
so
bread and butter.
that's our bread and butter. So, anyways, he calls the
Yeah.
guy, and then basically the guy, like honestly, it wasn't a very hard call. The guy's like, yeah, I'm interested, make an offer. Everybody's interested, make an offer, especially on those
And
big
he gets a
buildings.
ton of calls.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, so I figured out this guy's not going to be easy to work with. And what ended up happening, I said, okay, show me the property. I go to the property, and he sends his son to show the property to me, right? So I can make an offer. After many attempts, right? I go to his son. I was like, I look at the property. I didn't even look at the property. I just walked in 2 seconds. I looked at the guy. I was like, dude, put your dad on the line. Tell him I'm a cool ass guy, and he should meet me in person. And I convinced the son to do it. He calls the guy from his phone. He calls his own dad from his phone. Man, Jalal's great. You should meet him in person, basically. And then the guy, Mr. Fernandez, he was like, he's a very wealthy man. He doesn't know I'm next to him, but I was like, man, this guy's annoying. He keeps calling me. Just tell him to make a fucking offer and stop bothering me. And then literally I grabbed him. I was like, Mr. Fernandez, this is some of the nicest stuff anybody ever said about me. Look, all I'm looking to do is, right, if I'm the man you're going to do business with, I just want to shake your hand, man. I can drive to your house right now. He's died laughing, but I heard that and I answered it like that.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, come to my house. I literally leave Opalaka. I drive to the guy's house. And so that's how I found the deal, randomly on Property Appraiser. I would call that driving for dollars. I tell my guys when they do it, it's virtual driving for dollars.
Oh, I love my best deal. My best deal is a driving for dollar deal. Right behind my house.
So I drive to that guy's house in Weston.
It works.
Yeah, I drive to that guy's house in Weston with a contract in my hand, and I go to sit in his house. Very nice house, beautiful maids and whatever. Sit down, had like a cup of coffee with him. I walked out with a contract, basically. That's simple. I liked it up. Like
where did you see? Let's get into the numbers. Where did you see the opportunity? And you bought this with this is the 38 unit consists of what mix?
We have 38, 12, 16 of them. I think 16 or 17 of them are 2-1s. The rest are 1-1s.
What is his average? What average rent did you? So
here's what I know, right? My thing is I want to at least accomplish the 1% rule, right? Like each door, if I get to pay, $100 or less and collect over $1,000 per rent, to me that's it. That's like immediate, like very generic indicator, interesting.
Easy underwriting. You underwrite quickly by the 1% rule, which is very common in the business.
Yeah, like I'm not saying I'm gonna go just to close based off of it, but it immediately tells me, okay, there's something, dig in, right? So I was
everything in Miami is negative 1%.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to pick up this thing for less than $100 a door and rent, and 1-1s rent for $1,200. 2-1s rent for $1,400 to $1,450, depends on how you.
And what was he at? He was at, what is his average rent?
Like literally, his 1-1s were at $700-800. Most one is $900.
Room.
Yeah, and the 2-1s are rented at like literally between $950 and $1,100. And those could be, tremendously.
Yeah,
I did the numbers. Yeah, the building right now is grossing $36 a month. In about 6 to, let's say, 9 months max, I'm going to have it grossing somewhere between 50, 51 a month.
What improvements are you going to do to hit those pro forma rents?
Pretty much.
You have to go all out? Do you have to do kitchen, bathroom, floors? No?
So, no, I mean, some units, yes, but that's not the majority. The majority probably got to paint their, units and just the normal, right? Maybe spend like $2-3 grand in the unit max. But what I need to do, like most of, is really just making the building look better. The building looks ugly. The coloring, it's just, terribly maintained. And then, so I'm going to paint the property. Some units need fully remodeled. One unit actually blew up, so that is down to the guts. Like I gotta I gotta spend about 20 grand in there. Yeah. Literally blew up. Yeah. Wow. Not with me, with him. So we have the purpose to bring
creating that business plan is always a challenge as an apartment syndicator because sometimes it's very easy to say, you know what, I'm gonna remodel every unit, but sometimes you don't have to. You just gotta look at your comps, look at your competition. You might just with the minimal fresh coat of paint, kitchen, maybe adding a washer and dryer in the unit, just those simple things will skyrocket your rents $200 or $300 per unit extra. And that comes with experience, but you got to pay attention to your comps. You look at your comps and your comps are getting $1,400 rent and all they did was just put new floors, and that's it. You're good. So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts, identifying those little golden nuggets. And how did you take down this deal? I know that you told me you
So
took out a bridge loan, you financed.
So
How did you structure that?
I was gonna go to David at Lument actually, but then the property has a lawsuit against it with the city of Opelika for a $300,000 water bill
Oh,
for
I
a
killed
leak
your
they
loan.
had. Okay, so no lender is gonna give you that, right? And then my
Yeah.
attorney is like, Jalal, don't do the deal. There's a lawsuit, too much going on. Let's back
That's
out.
their job
Don't
to
do
tell
it.
you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but then I was like, no, dude, this is the best thing ever happened to this deal. I go back to the owner. I was like, yo, nobody's gonna give me a loan. I'm gonna give you money. I'm gonna do this deal with seller financing. I'm willing to do the deal, but just know, me or anyone else, nobody can give you a loan, and nobody's certainly gonna give you $3.7 million cash. So I'm your best guy. I'm not scared, but we need to do a seller financing deal. And then obviously that's when it took months to strike the right deal, like of negotiation back and forth. We ended
They
up,
take time.
yeah. So I ended up basically putting 800 down, and that's actually from my own money. I didn't raise this
Ooh.
money. I would have been smarter to raise that
Ooh.
money. I know. So so I actually put down $800,000, took that out of my own cash, put it down on the deal because I believe in the deal. And I did have an investor to go in on the deal and put up the money, but he literally, that idiot, ended up literally buying a Bentley and spent the money on dumb shit, right? And then I'm like, okay, great, I'll do the deal. You know,
Well, if he
we
bought a
were.
Bentley, if he bought a Bentley, he's not that much of an idiot.
I mean, well, he's not no, he knows how to make money, but he knows how to spend
Yeah.
it better than he knows how to invest it. That's for sure.
I get
So
it.
I
I
was
get
on
it.
a lunch with you when I got that call that the guy spent his money.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
I get called. He was like, "Oh, the guy
You
spent
know,
all his
you,
money."
you know that example. That one of the things I love about commercial real estate, which I don't miss from flipping houses, was that I remember being about to close, and the buyer I'm selling my flip to decides to make a poor choice, and their credit score drops right before my closing, and the deal falls through. So I remember you just gave me a flashback of those days.
Yeah, they go buy like a TV or something,
Yeah,
but this guy's buying Bentley, so it's
yeah.
different. But
Well, so your business plan is to get rid of this lien, get the rents up, refinance, and get your equity out. Is this a long term hold
so
for you?
definitely a long-term hold. So the deal we
Smart.
struck, so it was 800 down, 25 amortization, 5 years balloon, 6% IO interest
That's
only.
sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and for the $300,000 lawsuit, I actually managed to do documents that even past the closing, he's still 100% liable for the lawsuit, and I kept $150,000 in escrow.
Negotiate that.
Yeah, I kept $150,000 in escrow. That here's what happens: if the lawsuit settles on us and we have to pay the $300,000, I'm going to take the 150 in escrow, and the remainder 150, I'm going to deduct it from the loan I owe you,
From this loan amount.
and I'll make payments out of my own money to pay that off.
That's a very creative way of structuring
Yeah.
it. Yeah, whenever you can pull off a set, but that's a good way. That's a smart way of structuring it. There's no deals alike. They all require a lot of thinking, a lot of consulting and advice. You know, one of the reasons when I created SAR Apartment Capital, and I had this conversation with you, it's important to have really smart people around you, people with experience, good attorneys, good partners, where you could bounce off ideas to come up with strategies and come up with, okay, you know what? All right, there's an issue here. Let me look at how other people who have a lot of experience have how they structure this deal and just get different advice and then you come into your advice. So I always advise people get a group, get a team around you of like-minded people. They don't have to be in real estate. It's crazy. Some of my best advice comes from people with nothing to do with real estate, but their perspective opens my mind and their creativity on how to structure a deal. I'm like, whoa, I didn't think about that. I didn't see that coming that way. So it's very important to structure deals. And look, you were able to take that down. Jalal, that's good luck with that deal, man. I know you're gonna do fine. The numbers look good. I wanna touch one last thing before we close out the show because I know you got a crazy day. This event. Um, you got into this event space. I mean, I've seen you on stage. You've done a couple already. You're a natural. You love it. I see your adrenaline rush that you get.
Yeah.
What other are scared about, you love. You have an event coming up with Grant Cardone. How
Yeah.
the fuck did you pull that off, bro?
So, by the way, my event is called Miami Movers 3. My event is called Miami Movers 3, and it's actually on October 23rd at the Coven Center, and it's gonna be legitimate. Actually, I have four more speakers that I'm announcing. I only announced Elena Cardone one as the first speaker. Tomorrow night, I'm announcing the second one. By the way, literally over $500 million guy. He's 31, super money from
I'm
California.
looking forward to it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. And how did I pull that off? Honestly, relationships. Because when I got fired out of the office, I kept being a great advocate, and I never spoke bad about a bad, like me being, oh, F the last employer. No. I love them. They're great. So kept the relationship, and then it came in handy this time, right? And then made a couple texts, and it was done. Wait till you see the last speaker I announced.
I'm excited.
Once you see the last speaker, all I gotta say is legitimate billionaire, known all around the world, literally.
Wow.
Very known in America. Once you know the name, and I'm not gonna say much, let's just say.
I'm excited, man.
Let's just say it's gonna be insane. So if you're watching this, and obviously you're his crowd, you don't know me, I'll say this. You don't know me enough. Follow me on Instagram at the King of Miami Real Estate, and also on YouTube if you want, but on Instagram at the King of Miami Real Estate. You'll see everything that I have about the event, link in bio. You have any, questions, slide in the DM, ask me my question, whatever questions you have. I'll be more than happy to assist you. How I pulled that off? Connections, man.
Man, that's right, man. Connections and putting himself out there. And you started small with small events, and you've been growing them little by little. And now that you guys all met this personality, you're gonna see big things from this guy in the future. And I'm gonna sit back, front row seat, and watch him. Jalal, man, thank you for your time, man. What a great talk this was. I appreciate it, brother.
Much love, man.
You're amazing. I'll drop the links for everyone to be able to get in touch with Jalal, and everyone can log in and see his events. If they're not in Miami, I'm pretty sure he's gonna create something like that. I'm excited, man. Thank you for your time,
next time I'm on this show, I'm going to be at least at 500 apartments. Mark my words.
Oh, no, I will. I know you will. And I'm going to be your partner. For me and Coach.
Can't wait to learn from you, man. You're an amazing guy.
All right, brother.
Much love.
Take care.
Let's do this.
All right, man. That was awesome, bro.